for joining us on the Conscious Life Expo podcast. My name is Melanie, and today we have Alan Steinfeld. He is the author of Making Contact and the host of New Realities, which you can find on YouTube and other platforms. And so let me introduce you today, Alan Steinfeld. How are you doing today, Alan?
Good to see you, Melanie. I know we wanted to do this for a long time. I'm glad we're doing this. So thanks for inviting me.
Of course, of course. Thank you for joining us. And we are here to talk about a little about what you do, as well as hosting your program, your book, Making Contact. And we will also cover the details for your workshop and lecture that you will be hosting and providing for everyone there at the Conscious Life Expo in February. And so let's start with you and about what you do and how you got started.
Well, I've been interested in UFOs for a long time. I've had my own childhood experiences. We should do a session about that because Melanie does sessions. And then I got a book contract to write a book, which is kind of an overview of the phenomena. It's called Making Contact, right there. And we are at a crucial time in the history of contact. It's been suppressed for a long time. And now, finally, the glass ceiling, it is a glass ceiling because you think you can see through it, but you can't because there is something there. There's nothing. So the government's finally admitted, yes, there's something there, but they're not exactly telling us what it is. So I talked to a lot of people, a lot of experts in the field, and put together what I think is going on as a beginner step. I mean, the phenomena is really complex and there's a wide range of experiences and opinions and facts. And so, I listen to people inside the government and they don't really know what this is all about, and nobody knows. So I'm excited because we're entering a fresh new page of history. History has been about what we've known and countries fighting countries, people fighting people. I mean, but if we look at the mystery together and kind of collect our ideas about what's happening, I think that's a very, very positive step forward for humanity, that we can come together and look at who we are in relationship to a bigger phenomenon. We always thought we were the smartest guys on the block, the king of the hill, but we're not. There's beings with greater technology, probably greater intelligence, maybe even more personality or less personality, I don't know. But there are beings out there. We are not the top of the heap. We are children, basically, in a schoolhouse of learning, and we're at this point in evolution where maybe we can take a leap beyond war, beyond corporate greed, maybe make the planet a place where it's safe and happy and abundant to live for every single person. And I say this because the government is admitting they have a reverse technology of these crash UFOs. And what I always say is they're not filling up their gas tank to get here. So my talk at the Expo with the Hurtaks are going to be about who these extraterrestrial, extracelestials, ultra-terrestrials, trans-dimensional beings really are, and how we could realize we're not separate from that. We are actually a part of this collective consciousness. And we seem so isolated here because we've isolated ourselves from each other, from the planet. We're isolated from ourselves, our true nature. So these beings, whoever they are, coming and going to wake us up, I think, and I'm sure you know this, to who we really are and what more is possible, and not to destroy the earth, which is one of my favorite planets. It really, really is. So.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Does that answer some of your questions?
It does. It does. And I can attest to your book. I love Making Contact. I've actually read it twice. And
wow.
Even the
Okay.
audiobook is pretty good. So if anybody even has that, they can find it there. It is a great book. It's a good compilation of different backgrounds of information.
Yeah, different experts. I talk to the best experts in the field, and I really tried to put together a arc from, government insiders like Nick Pope wrote a chapter, to like people intimate with the phenomena like Carolyn Corey. I think Carolyn Corey probably is an ET. Whitley Strieber and Daryl Anka, they've all contributed chapters because they've had direct experience with the phenomena. This is like direct, like one-on-one. So we're at a place where we need to hear from the people who know what's going on, or at least the people who have a little more knowledge, and the person just waking up and saying, what? You mean there are UFOs here? They read the headline in the New York Times saying there's a UFO program in the Pentagon. Of course, there's been one since the 40s, but people are waking up and saying, well, I guess you don't have to laugh at this anymore. There's something real to it, and they don't know how to relate to it. So the subtitle is Preparing for the New Realities of Extraterrestrial Existence, gives us a context of how to relate to something that is in a way unrelatable to. I mean, we have no context except movies, science fiction movies. But this is not a science fiction movie. And we have to stop thinking about it like that. This is part of a bigger, broader reality that we've been cut off from, purposely denied and limited. We've been looking through the world like this, and now we can look a little wider at a view that encompasses more of what's possible. And it's not just about aliens, it's what's possible for us as humans. How can we live better, kinder, happier, peaceful?
Yeah,
That's my kind of through line within this book.
definitely. And you are going to be doing a Starseed panel on Saturday, February 10th at 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And you're going to have discussions about starseeds and light activations. So tell us about your perspective on starseeds and anything else you would like to share about that.
Well, I want to say there's a big spectrum to the UFO phenomena, to ETs. So if the people looking at just the hardware, okay, how are we going to reverse this technology? How are we going to make weapons out of that? And then we have people more interested in consciousness, okay, who are these ETs? How do they think? How can we communicate with them? And then at the other end of the spectrum, we have people saying, nope, I am an ET. I came from the stars. I'm here to help humanity evolve. Those are the starseeds. The starseeds are those people who feel they're part of a bigger reality already. They don't have to be woken up. They come in, a lot of them are born with that awareness. Mary Rodwell, her chapter in my book, outlines some of the people who are realize, and I think me and you are part of that, we realize we're not like the normal earthlings. We're a little different and we think a little different. Those are the starseeds, and the starseeds are the people who really feel the bridge to these other star systems. And the ones I met and the ones I value have something really big to share about how we can live differently here. So I value the people who I value the whole phenomenon, but the people who call themselves starseeds, the ones I met, have solutions. They're thinking a little differently about the nature of reality. They're helping us wake up to more of ourselves as human beings, So I mean, I think we're all hybrid beings of some sort. Our consciousness didn't evolve from apes, but descended from the higher realms. And I think there is evolution. Of course, there's the evolution of the body, but there's the descent of consciousness into the body. So there's evolution and what I call involution. But starseeds that I've met and the people who will be on this panel at the Expo are ready to share a little more knowledge about how we can live more peacefully, how their perspectives. I mean, in my show I've done for years called New Realities, I look for people with a different way of seeing reality, because we have been lived in a cookie cutter reality, and that's really not reality. That's just a false understanding of how we think things are. We really don't know the nature of reality. We don't even know who we are. We don't even know where we came from. We don't even know our infinite nature. And we have to know that if we're going to understand the bigger scope of reality. And I think starseeds are born, and most of them try to get beyond their conditioning so they can give us a kind of insight into the cosmos that we're a part of. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. I mean, what do you think starseeds are?
Definitely. So for me, I feel I'm a starseed as well. And I
Well,
feel,
you wrote the book on starseeds, right? You wrote that book.
well, I just released my second book. So the first book talks about the beginning of different things. And then the
What's the name of
second,
that book? What was the name of your first?
is Revelations 1, the beginning. And,
Right.
and my second book is of Revelations 2, Evolutions, which talks about how we are seeded from different beings, and just the evolution of Earth and human DNA. And one of the next books I'm working on is about how these star seeds are pieced, like their DNA just comes from different combinations of places. You could be Lyran, Pleiadian, Andromedan.
But but you might agree that some starseeds, I don't know about you, have had a hard time integrating into the Earth plane.
Yes,
And
yes.
why do you think that is? Why have you and others have had such a hard time?
Personally, from my perspective and observation, I feel it is because our frequency, we come in with a bit higher frequency of already knowing of what's going on. We're born with these questions and abilities. And so as we grow older, we just kind of feel we don't fit in. And we're kind of set aside because we might be looked at differently with our abilities. But as we go and as we evolve, and as the DNA with the star seeds or light workers, as we activate, we are pulling that awareness and frequency around us. And that's why we're here. We're here to help guide and clear and hold that grid point for Earth as we transcend through the new shift.
Do you think it's getting easier for starseeds now as we evolve more, or is it still the same?
That is a good question. I feel like it might be easier for those who are following through with their path and purpose and mission. And I think for the ones that are holding back on that, it might be challenging for them. And, because some might still have that fear of stepping forward into their authenticity or their calling. Or there's some that might not be comfortable with their abilities. So I think there's a good mixture, but I think as we go forward and just help each other remember who we are, I think that's the main important thing, and that we can assist one another in that as well.
Right. Okay. What else do you want to know? Thank you for that,
Yeah,
Nancy.
of course. So speaking of consciousness, you are going to be doing an artificial intelligence panel and human consciousness. That's going to be Saturday, February 10th at 5 to 7 p.m. And so share with us what you will be covering in that panel.
Well, this is at the Conscious Life Expo, which is going to be at the LAX Hilton at the airport. So everyone's invited to come down. Tickets are really reasonable. We have really the top speakers in the mind, body, spirit realm at this conference. It's the biggest conference of its type in the country, maybe the world. I know Robert Quicksilver puts a lot of effort into making this a really fantastic conference. And so does Christine, and so does everyone else on the team. So they assigned me to I love moderating because it's a chance to hear a little bit from everyone and kind of pull it together. So I moderate a bunch of panels at different conferences, and I've never moderated an artificial intelligence panel. And I interviewed people in artificial intelligence. One of the people on the panel will be Matthew James Bailey. And he has a whole different, some people are anti-artificial intelligence, some people are pro. He's a kind of pro for the AI revolution. And he says it within reason, if you can keep a handle on what AI, I mean, AI is just humans programming it. I don't think they'll ever have a consciousness of their own. And this is where I disagree with some of the other people in the AI field saying, no, it's going to take over, stay away from it. But, you know, first, what I'm going to do in that panel is define artificial intelligence. Is your computer artificial intelligence? Is your phone artificial? Is your answering machine from the 80s artificial intelligence? I mean, where does it begin? And of course, we don't know where it ends because it's in its beginning stages. So I want to define, because people throw that word around and it means a million different things. I mean, ChatGPT, it's an incredible tool. You ever use ChatGPT?
I have not.
It will rewrite your paragraph or book in any style you want to write in. But I use it, but I don't use it to rewrite stuff. I use it as an editor. So I don't ever give it over to AI and say, write this for me. I give them ideas. It gives me back ideas. It makes some suggestions that I might not have thought of in vocabulary and phrasing. And so for me, I use it as a really good, very professional editor, looking at my material and seeing how it could be made better. You know, I would feel really weird saying, write this for me. And, you know, it's because it's a sort of, it's dead. There's no soul in the machine. There's no ghost in the machine. It's a tool. You know, a screwdriver is a tool. It has no power unless you pick it up and use it. So it's like AI has no power unless it's used, I feel, in the appropriate way. So we're going to have a lot of opinions on this panel. I mean, I don't know if William Henry is going to be there, but he's very anti-AI.
Yes.
Who's on the panel? Do you know?
Yes, William Henry will be there, as well as Billy Rood, Aquarius Maximus, Adam Apollo, Adam Curie, and Riz Verk. And then you did mention Matthew James Bailey.
Yeah, these are very intelligent people. They've really looked at this question. And I think I'm leaning more towards using AI as a tool. It's a tool. You know, 100 years ago, no one wanted to, or maybe more than 150 years ago, no one wanted to give up their horse and buggy for some car machine that you had to fill up with, you know, awful smelling gas. And so it's horse and buggy consciousness. That's what I say. The people who don't want to see how this could be progress.
Right. That's going to be a great discussion. And
yes.
So
and I'm open to seeing how far, what's too far, all that. So going back to the AI discussion, AI can handle this dimension. It can handle, you know, it's like a butler robot. It will remind you, wake up, do this, do that. But you know, it will never transcend this dimension because it's a machine. What human consciousness is, it's an open system. It's not a machine. That's what makes humans, a consciousness itself, different than things we build. Things we consciousness is always flowing into the realm of forever, and it's also aware of other levels. So when I teach remote viewing, which I do every couple of months, I teach a class on remote viewing, a series of 6 classes. People are able to see with some part of their mind, I don't know which part, locations that are not local to they're present. And I've asked everyone, how is this possible? And you know what? Even the people who created remote viewing, Russell Tarr, Cal Putoff, I knew Ingo Swann, even these people don't know how human consciousness can be local and non-local. It's local because we have an experience of the world around us, but it's non-local in the way that, well, you're not in my computer, you're non-local. I'm picking you up through the internet. And, you know, before people knew there was an internet, they thought everything that I could possibly know or perceive have been programmed onto the computer. How could I have anything that's beyond the computer if, you know, until someone says, you know what, there's a facility, there's an application that you can actually access things that are not on your computer. So we have this mental consciousness application. Some people call it remote viewing, some people call it psychic awareness. We have the ability to tap into the quantum field, as Joe Dispenza says, and know everything about anything, anytime. How is that possible? Well, it's not possible if you look at the mechanistic understanding of reality, which is also why we're stuck in this fossil fuel sort of downward spiral, because we think everything's a machine, everything's mechanistic. But, you know, if not, humans are non-local, and that's not something to be proven in a sense. That's something we are. You know, we are already multidimensional. So the lecture is about how to awaken to your multidimensional consciousness. And we're going to practice remote viewing there. We're going to show people how they can activate this application of non-local awareness that we're all carrying around. I mean, sometimes you'll get glimpses of it, like maybe your son did something, you'll get a glimpse of that, or, you know, you'll see a little piece of the future or this like that. So we get glimpses of it, but we're not taught that it's valid. So when we awaken as a human race, we will be taught or understand at least the validity of this bigger mind, the mind at large, Aldous Huxley called it. Not the little mind, not the little self, but the big self, the big mind, the large. That's what we're really a part of. And, you know, people say, no, they don't believe that. Well, remote viewing, even though they don't know how it's done or how it's accessed, it's proven. It works. I mean, the CIA had devoted 20 years of budget input to the Stanford Research Institute to research it. It is a fact that has proven beyond double-blind study that it works. We don't know how it works, the mechanism. And so we have to transcend a mechanistic way of thinking if we're really going to awaken to the multidimensional mind, which we are. And me and the Hurtaks, JJ and Desiree Hurtak, we talk about the proof. They're scholars and they've done studies. They wrote a book called Mind Dynamics, where they actually set out the history of Stanford Research Institute. So this is a phenomena, and it's fun. And when people realize that they're non-local, I think there'll be less suffering in the world.
Definitely. Yes, I agree with you. And that's going to be a great lecture. And that is going to be with Alan Steinfeld, JJ and Desiree Hurtak. The title is Consciousness and the Cosmos, Sunday, February 11th, from 11 a.m. to 11:45. And is there anything else that you would like to share about your work or the panels that we can be expecting?
Well, like I said before, we're at a turning point in history. And if we start to acknowledge the presence of these other beings with other technologies, with this influx of AI, with the possibility that the human consciousness can access realms beyond the local, that is the moment where we get off the wheel of karma in a way and take the power back over our lives and transcend the religious dogmas and the political dogmas and all the dogmas that have kept human beings trapped, and maybe live in a really healthy planet, really peaceful planet where there's an abundance for all people. Like John Lennon said, imagine all the world living for today. Imagine no countries, no religion. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us, only sky. So that's the world I see as possible. And maybe we're a long way from that, but you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. Really, I think something is possible, and maybe overnight or not, the world will wake up to the infinite nature of human existence, the human heart, the human soul, and understand that we're not here just to accumulate material goods. If you live in a material paradigm, which is what the mechanistic world is, then all you can hope for is material goods. But if you live in a paradigm and a worldview that transcends that, that says we're infinite, then our goal is to want to know more about our own infinite nature and how to discover that. And that's what's exciting for me. That's what I love to think about, talk about, read about, lecture about, play about, make films about. So I think we're at this seed change where new seeds are growing that will sprout into abundance for all on the planet. That's my Aquarian hope.
Yes, wonderful. Well, thank you, Alan, so much for joining us on the Conscious Life Expo podcast. Cannot wait to see you again at the
Conscious Life, I'm just going to say, is going to be a fantastic gathering of some of the best minds, but some of the best spiritual teachers, some of the people that inspire others to change their lives in a good way. So
Yes,
I'm glad to be part of that.
definitely. And what do you love most about the expo?
Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. It's not so much the lectures and the people that inspire, it's the community that gathers there. It's the people coming, it's the people looking at, it's like people from all over the country interested in this are coming together to share their own knowledge, not just listen to the great lectures, all that, but to come and meet each other and realize there's a union, a communion of spirit that's coming from all over the world, and then that's growing and supplying people's needs for more knowledge about themselves, the world, and each other. So that's what I love. I love the community that shows up there.
Yes.
So thanks for asking that question. / New Realities. You can get my book on Amazon, Making Contact: The New Realities of Extraterrestrial Existence. You could come to the Expo Hero lectures, and I'm also doing the Sedona Ascension Retreat, March 8th to the 10th. I'm doing the New Living Expo in Northern California. I think that's April 24th, maybe 22nd, 23rd. I'm doing a bunch of other things. So check my website, newrealities.com. Newrealities.com. Thank you, Melanie.
You're very welcome. We will post all of those links in the description below. And so that anyone can find Alan Steinfeld, his website, the lecture link, panel links, and his book as well, and as well as his YouTube channel. So anyone can reach out to him at any time and connect with Alan. And so we look forward to seeing you in February.
Yeah, put my email in there too, newrealities@earthlink.net.
All right, I will definitely put your email in there for everyone as well.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Hey, talk to you soon. Have a great day, and thank you for joining us on the Conscious Life Expo podcast.